afternoon golfers, I hope you're well. Always get stuck with what to say at the beginning of a video, so if any of you got any ideas or like nice easy ones that I can use, I tend to go to the same ones which can be a bit repetitive and boring. Feel free to just leave a comment and I'll have a look, because it does get, I feel, a little samey, but you know, you can only say welcome and hello, I hope you're alright so many times. Today I want to talk about wrist set, wrist cock, wrist hinge, wrist whatever you want to call it, release, everything. I think everyone gets very caught up in how do my wrists work, when should I do them, how should they, you know, should they be early, should they be late, should I cock it, set it, release it, all of those things. I think it gets very confusing. I certainly get confused by how it works. I like to keep it nice and simple. If we can get a sort of 90 degree in there early and keep it, and then do the opposite the other way, that's great. Now, to give you that feeling, so I don't want to overcomplicate it, if I put a good grip on my golf club, hopefully, you can see left hand's fairly square to where we're going. You can see that there. Right hand sits on here. I have my little finger sitting on there. That is called the Varden. There is the overlap, which seems to be a modern thing. I think Tiger, who was pretty good at it, brought that in. And baseball, if you've got small hands, don't fear putting your hands together like that. But you can see here, it's basically how my right hand is on there. It doesn't matter which way I connect it. We'd like to have them touching forever. Forever seems a little strong, but we don't want it to change, so that's correct. I'm going to start with my club out as if it was a sword or whatever, and I'm just holding it vertically. For me, at 12 o'clock, as you guys, it would be 12 o'clock as you look at it here. Now, wrist set, wrist cock, wrist hinge, or whatever you want to call it, is if I move the club from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock as I look at it, and you see how that puts in that beautiful 90 degrees or L shape that I was talking about there. So my wrist would move, and it's more of a kind of forearm rotation here. You can see I'm kind of turning my forearms here. Now there's a caveat with this, you can see here, quite a long word for me that. In a normal golf swing, there'll be a slight bit that way, because obviously it's posture here. But we're taking that out just to give ourselves a feeling of how the club rotates, how my forearm should work, and therefore my wrist set. In a way, it would be slightly forward and go to that point. But for the process of just showing you literally wrist stroke forearm movement here, can you see I go from there to 3 o'clock. Now, on the way through, we'd go back to 12 and through there to 9 o'clock for me. And you can see here, there's my opposite. If I were to do that, we've now created the release through. So I've got an L shape, if you like, 90 here, to square, to a now basically a 90 degree L shape here. Keeps it nice and simple. My forearms are rotating. I'm not saying that there isn't a little bit of that way with the club, obviously there has to be. But if we've just got that motion and we practice that in isolation, you just get to work how your forearm stroke wrists work, and then we don't get too caught up in when does everything have to happen. If you've got that 90 in there, as long as it's in there, that's happy days, that's all we want. So I hope that makes sense. Have a good afternoon. See you later.